Hello. Hi. Today is June 7th, 2017, and I hope everyone is well. Today we're going to talk about the subject of superiority and, oh boy, and this what it is. What is this? Turn it down a bit. And why it is instilled in us from the beginnings of our little lives here in this place that we've got to be better. Got to be better than something or someone. We need to be more than other people. And and when as children, when we do well, say in school, why is it not enough that we are just given the praise and the acknowledgement or whatever, for a job well done? Why are we taught to compare ourselves to other people? And come to understand, quote, understand our own worth and the worth of others. Isn't that just foolish talk right there? Yet, so many of us, even in our subconscious, even those of us who feel like, I don't look down on other people, I don't judge other people, I know everyone is equal. If we investigate, we'll see that we've got traces of that in us, of measuring ourselves against others, measuring others against some kind of elusive, some standard of what is good and what is not good, what is the best. Just and it may seem harmless, but I will tell you something right now, since I mentioned school. I remember way back when, when I was a little girl, and I was in the 4th grade, and if you did so well throughout the week, at the end of the week, you'd get a gold star. Like we all had like these it's just construction paper with our names on it up in the classroom, like above they used to be blackboards back in the day, and our names were there. If I'm remembering correctly, if you did well, then you would get a gold star on your name. And there was this girl, I think her name was like Frederica or some girl. She had like a zillion, trillion gold stars plastered all over her name. Like she always got gold stars. I worked my ass off. I tried so hard. I don't think I ever got a gold star. Ever. And the thing was that all of our names are up there. So you could look up there and you could see who was the best and who was a nobody, under which category I fell. Just a nobody. Like, why is your name even up there? That's how I felt. And, you know, some people, you know, they get the gold stars, and then some of us, we're stupid, so we don't get any gold stars. But you get my point. I drove that in the ground far enough. And I can appreciate how good it must have felt. I can sort of appreciate how good it would have felt to have gotten one for those students who were getting them. But that wasn't my experience, though. Whoa. Oh, man. That wasn't my experience. And those are your formidable years, right? They call them? Is that what they call them? Something like that. Those are those tender years when you're a kid and you're developing your sense of self. You know, how you fit in, if you fit in, which I didn't. And these messages, basically what you're telling you, okay, this is what's going on. You don't measure up. Or, here's what's going on. We did an assessment, and guess what? You have worth. Congratulations. Who the hell are you? Of course, we don't have that kind of thing in us as a child. Well, most of us don't, I don't think. We don't have that understanding to look at an adult and be like, who appointed you to decide my worthiness of existing or anything? The teacher, and plus, you know, some teachers, they have favorites too. And when my child was in school, there was a teacher that my child was a student in this teacher's classroom. And this teacher, I think she felt like she was still a high school cheerleader. And she, you know, I met her a few times. And she had her favorites, and she would just be like all youthful and, you know, trying to be friends with these middle schoolers that she favored. My daughter wasn't one of them. And I'm glad, because I don't, there's a certain kind of people that maybe it's better that you don't fall in with, that find you acceptable. But anyway, I almost went there and punched that teacher in the mouth. I'm sorry. Because my daughter, she was a good student. And she was, you know, and she worked. She did her homework. She paid attention. She didn't dawdle. She was a good student. But apparently she didn't measure up. And this teacher, I was noticing some of the assignments my child was bringing home. And I'm like, how did you get this grade on this? This is good work. You know? And just with a fine-tooth comb, this teacher would go through and like mark very insignificant things. Like, oh, here's a check for that. Here's a big red check mark on your assignment for this minuscule nothing. You know? What should have been an A goes down to a B minus. What should have been a B plus goes down to a, you know what I mean? And then, you know, my daughter told me, like, yeah, she's got her favorites, and this is how she is in class, and just and that energy. You know, fortunately, my daughter was coming to that age where she realized that this woman is tripping. But it didn't feel good at the same time, because she was the authority in that room. It doesn't feel good when you see this woman doting on all the popular kids and the ones that she decided deserved her attention, and then ignored. Or even, there were some students in the class that she even came precariously close to bad behavior toward, like, really inappropriately putting them down in front of the class type thing. She didn't do that to my, if she had done that to my daughter, it would have been over. It would have been on. I would have been making this recording from behind bars right now, because I don't play that. But there were some, or maybe my daughter didn't tell me because she knew, oh boy, I can't tell mom this woman said this or did that, because no telling at that time, But, what you do is you create an environment for these children. You have so much power as an adult when you're with children. And she created this environment that taught the kids it's okay to to treat others as less, and treat some people as superior. Look at me. Follow my example, my bad behavior. And then that just keeps going, and you get into high school, and and if the kids are not strengthened at home by parents who understand what's going on out there when we send our kids to school, even private schools, okay? These kind of games, it's universal. And, for kids who have parents who teach them, you know what? Don't you ever let anybody look down on you or talk down to you, okay? Because guess what? This shit stinks too. You just come right out, tell your little one, listen, how you go to I'm just kidding. But we have, and I was able, because I grew up, I want to bore you, so I won't take too long in this, but I grew up really timid and very insecure, because I heard those messages loud and clear. There are people who are superior in this world, and you ain't one of them. And I grew up believing that. And so when I had my child, I was like, my child's not going to have to feel what that feels like. It was not fun. It was really hard. So fortunately, her father and I were able to instill in her that she has worth, and that she has value, and that she, the things. And so if parents are doing that, then we prepare our children for, the way some people are in this place right now, and how to deal with that and not let that pull them down and make them feel small. But that attitude, it's a thing. All right. And if you're an adult now, you know that it don't stop at school. Excuse me, I had a sip of my coffee. It don't stop in school. You go on, and in your different social settings, and in the workplace, and all of the relationships and everything that you find yourself in as an adult, you see that there's an undercurrent of that in there, and so just one more thing about myself, but just because it applies, not because anything else. But so I'm of a mixed race background, and so sometimes, so you might look at me and be like, okay, so and I've had people ask, what are you? Where are you from? Are you mixed? This and that and the other thing. Strangers, complete strangers. And I used to oblige, say, oh, this and this and this. But then I noticed, once you give, oftentimes what happens, you'll see the look on a person's face will adjust somehow, or they'll there's a response to that, you see. And what is that? What am I seeing there when I see you're making facial expressions and your response to the answer to that? It's a judgment. Not saying that people are evil, but we're so used to it now. Because we even look at certain cultures certain backgrounds, ethnicities, and races as being superior or inferior. Even if we don't know it, sometimes we have that, traces of that in us. And so now when people ask, I just say, I still get it. It's weird, walking around as a grown-up and just be approached by a stranger like, what are you? I just say, just a mix of this and that. And that's it. In fact, not even a month ago, someone asked me that. And I said that. That's what I said. And then the person asked something else, oh, do you have this in you? And that was a negative. So I just said, nope. And that was it. And it's like, sometimes we feel like, oh, we have to answer everybody's. No, you don't. You don't have to answer shit. If somebody asks you a question that is not their business to know, you have every right to just be like, Now, you don't want to respond like aggressively, like, you mother, what are you asking me that for? Are you trying to judge me? Come on. But still. But we do. Or if you find out somebody went to college or works at a certain job or whatever, or if somebody is all too eager to share that information with you, to let you realize, you know what, I'm kind of up there. I'm a big deal. You see? So, anyway, it's just something that we deal with in this life right now, in this place. We're not going to explore the reasons why that exists right now, because this is already almost 18 minutes going on. But it's just something that is part of this place right now. So just acknowledging that it exists. And, we can even think in our own minds and our own hearts, do I have, you see? And that's not to say if you have those feelings in you somewhere, that means that you're a good for nothing, blah, 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 you shit. But no, it's, again, judgment is useless. It's not about that. It's just about understanding what makes us tick. But we'll explore that in the next part. This is part 1. Oh, she's so cute. A little kid walking by. Speaking of children. Anyway, hope this was informative to some of you, to any of you, to one person out there maybe. And we'll continue this at another time, because I am and have been at my destination. Much love.